Before I begin, I want to thank all the people who have purchased, reviewed, or talked about the game. Liminal Void's first week's sales exceeded my expectations as a solo developer. This is basically my first game, and I know I have a lot to learn. I have a lot of audacity to ask $15 for it, but I'm asking. If you haven't, please purchase the game on Steam. Liminal Void at first glance comes off as a roguelike dungeon crawler, but when you look at the mechanics, dialogue, and the nature of its enemies and level progression, it's something that's more chaotic. The premise of the game is that humanity is going through another apocalypse, and 4 strangers are brought back to life because their souls have spellcasting abilities in them. That's good enough to fight the Void Gods, the final bosses of the Liminal Lair. You got Gary, a domestic terrorist with social anxiety, Minerva, a content creator with abandonment issues, Soen, a real estate heir with an anger problem, and Helena,
serial killer sport.
Each of these characters have different abilities, advantages, disadvantages, and tragic backstory. They will trauma dump on you. Liminal Void's game structure is centered around reaching the end. As you go through the layers, you will need to find portals to teleport deeper into the lair. There's no getting stuck if you die. You start with your character selection, companion selection, then the tutorial level, and then the rest is all up to you. These dungeons basically have portals. You go through each of them to reach layer 444. You always move forward. Death countdown exists as a reminder that your stay in the lair is temporary. At the present time, when it reaches 0, your characters die in the lair. They are automatically teleported to the next available layer. The only penalty is the opportunities you lose, but that's okay, because there's always more opportunity. If the enemies touch you, they can kill you. If you fail to soul snatch them, they will tell their friends. However, you're in luck. They will not move when you look at them. They can also be soul snatched.
Simply hold right click.
And you can still kill them with your spellcasting, as long as you have the sigils for it. Spellcasting is a very simple system like a shooter. Just point and fire. You switch your spells. Different spells have different types. There are 4 types of spells: blood, fire, force, and light. I chose those names because they were cool. Apparently, the enemies have strengths and weaknesses against them. The spell system may seem confusing, but the spell descriptions are very helpful. They will even warn you if a spell damages you if you're too close to it. There are a variety of effects, including gravitational effects, frenzy effects, burning effects. I will leave the experimentation to you. Each soul has its own set of spells. You can simply switch your soul and have a new set of spells. You can acquire more souls through soul snatching. Simply go close to an enemy, let your crosshair shake, then right-click and hold the soul snatch button. Hold it until you see them die. You will get a new soul, more time added to your death counter, and some additional sigils. However, soul snatching can backfire, and when it does, the enemy can turn on you and enter chaos mode. When you are surrounded by enemies, you can use your special skill to destroy all of them around you. Each character has their own unique sequence with cool animations. However, be warned, after using a special skill, you are in a more vulnerable position. There are different types of special skills which you can switch with G. Liminal Void has 4 selectable characters and 4 strategies, but there are many ways in which you can play them. A brief overview of Gary is that he has more soul slots, but he is slower. He can see through walls to find doors, teleporters, and key. He's very good at navigating the layers. Minerva has the shortest countdown, but she can see through walls to see portals. She's best if you want to get out of each layer ASAP. Helena has stats made for killing entities. She can see enemies through walls. Soen is the fastest, and he can also take a lot of hits. He also has a good range of gravity-related spells, but he has a short attack range. He also has the least soul slots available. When I first pitched Liminal Void, I misclassified it as a survival horror game. When people think of survival, they think of a glorified RPG system that involves crafting, inventory, and a whole lot of numbers and meters. I found that too distracting for horror. This is a rogue dungeon crawler with RPG elements and shooter elements, yes. There is some visual novel style component, yes. But when you get down to the core mechanics, it's all about surviving. I highly recommend you look at the Steam page discussion and news regarding Liminal Void to get a full breakdown of the game's features and future stuff. This is actually a pretty loaded game, and there's more to come. Please also join the Discord for more information. Special thanks again to all the people who have bought the game, and if you haven't, please buy or wishlist Liminal Void on Steam.